All right, if you're a founder, a CEO, an entrepreneur, you know the struggle, right? How do you stop just managing tasks and actually get back to leading? Well, today, we're going to dive into a pretty cool, modern solution that lets you do exactly that.
So, let's just kick things off with a question that I bet hits close to home for a lot of you. Are you really spending your time on leadership, or are you just getting completely bogged down in admin? That difference is absolutely critical, and it's the heart of what we're talking about today.
And that question, well, it brings us perfectly to what we can call the leader's dilemma. This isn't some niche problem either. It's a huge challenge that pretty much every growing organization runs into right at the top.
Think about it. You've got these huge goals, right? You're trying to innovate, you're trying to build a strategy, push the whole company forward. But what does your day-to-day actually look like? You're buried in emails, you're stuck scheduling meetings, managing expenses. Basically, you're just drowning in this operational workload. And all that stuff, it's pulling you away from the work that actually creates growth. It's such a classic and super frustrating bottleneck.
Okay, so if that's the problem, what's the fix? Well, this is where we shift gears from the dilemma itself to a modern support solution that's basically built from the ground up to tackle this exact challenge.
So what are we talking about here? We're talking about executive virtual assistant services. And, what does that actually mean? Because it's not just about getting someone to answer your emails. Not at all. It's a whole support system. We're talking business operations, admin, finance, even digital delivery, the whole shebang, all designed specifically for leadership.
And the real key here, the core idea, isn't just, outsourcing tasks. It's all about seamless integration. I love how the source material puts it. They work as an extension of your organization. So what does that mean? It means they adapt to your systems, your priorities. They aren't trying to change how you work. They're there to make how you already work just work way better.
Okay, so what does this support actually look like day to day? Let's break it down and look at the core services you can expect to get. All right, so the support really breaks down into 4 main pillars. Think of them as your focus amplifiers. First up, you've got executive admin and ops. This is the stuff that eats up your day. Inboxes, calendars, travel, all those daily time sinks. Then there's finance and business admin. This is all about managing invoicing and expenses, basically keeping the engine running smoothly. Third, you have compliance and docs. This is super important, making sure all those crucial policies and governance docs are handled correctly and confidentially. And last but not least, digital and AI enablement. This is where they help you bring in new tools and automations to make your whole organization work smarter.
Okay, so that's what they do, but the bigger question is, why does this model work so well, especially when you compare it to, the old way of just hiring someone? Let's get into that.
Just think about the traditional way for a second. You've got all the hiring overhead, a super long onboarding process, and then you're stuck with a fixed capacity. Well, this modern model just completely flips that on its head. Suddenly, there's no added headcount on your payroll. Onboarding is fast because they plug right into your existing systems, and you get flexible, dependable support that can actually scale up or down with what you need.
So what's the bottom line here? The most crucial thing you're getting is just reliability. The source material really emphasizes that this is a dependable, UK-based team handling all this operational support. And what's cool is that even though they're based in one spot, their whole model is set up to support clients anywhere in the world. So it's really a global solution, but with this solid professional core. And all of this, it all leads to the ultimate benefit. The real reason a leader would even think about doing this in the first place. Let's talk about the strategic advantage you get. It really just boils down to one simple but incredibly powerful idea: being able to delegate all that operational stuff with total confidence. See, it's about so much more than just getting tasks off your plate. It's about that peace of mind you get when you know those tasks are being handled by a pro. That frees up your mental energy for the stuff that actually matters. And if you want to boil the entire value proposition down, it really comes down to this one question from the source material. Need senior-level support without adding headcount? That's the whole idea right there in a nutshell. You're getting top-tier, senior-level expertise, but without all the commitment and overhead that comes with a full-time hire. It's brilliant. So, as we wrap things up here, I want to leave you with one final thought. Just for a second, forget about all the tasks. Instead, ask yourself this: what could you really achieve if your focus was 100% back on growth? What becomes possible when your time and energy are freed up like that? That is the real potential here. Thanks for watching.